Welcome to Discussing Dad Life, where we break down bullshit so you don't have to. I'm Void, this is No, and let's go.
We're on.
Okay.
Welcome to Wellspring Wednesdays.
OCD over here.
You do you.
There's like tape or something, and like that's the sticky
Oh,
stuff.
Yeah, that's where the label was.
See, I called that shit.
Yeah.
All right, what are we talking about?
Wellspring Wednesdays. Well,
Wellspring Wednesdays.
We got to do the intros and stuff
Intros.
first. So, shout out to our sponsor, Candle Time. Buy candletime.net. Link in the description. 5 cents available. Peach, coconut, lakeshore, sea breeze, and citronella. We will be adding Void's albums onto the website as well as soon as we get pictures and pricing. So go there to check out Void's music.
I'll remember this eventually, I promise.
So,
All right.
Wellspring Wednesdays.
I like the topic you came up with.
So, had some help with coming up with this topic, and it's building strong sibling relationships, fostering cooperation, connection, and conflict resolution.
I'm like the worst person to ask these questions to because I have no sibling like relationship.
Yeah. Well, see, then you're going to give the opposite perspective.
Okay.
So, let's go into the first one: the importance of sibling relationships. So, what is the significance of sibling relationships in sharing a child's social skills, emotional intelligence, and sense of belonging?
Say that one more time.
Sorry. What is the significance of sibling relationships in shaping a child's social skills, emotional intelligence, and sense of belonging?
Oh, I would say that the importance of it, because it teaches you social social development in general. A lot of people have their brother or sister, and that's their best friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just teaches them social skills.
Well, it does
Anyway,
teach them
that's what I
social
would
skills.
imagine.
It also sets boundaries, right?
Mhm.
Because, so take my kids, for example. My oldest likes to push the boundaries with the younger two. And
Yeah.
my youngest likes to push the boundaries with his older sister,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what it does is it shapes the social skills that they have on what they can and cannot do in society and what people will accept and not accept. That I think that's a very important part of.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember my brother and I would always get into fights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My brother looks pretty much exactly like me, except he's like maybe a foot taller than I am,
God damn.
and the dude's like just big. And I remember one time I was making fun of him, right? Just being,
I can see this.
yeah, I was just making fun of him, and I remember him grabbing me by my neck, picking me up, and then throwing me.
That checks out.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, I should probably stop picking on him.
Did that with a cousin. Not a sister. I've only got one sister that I know of. So
Fair. So yeah, but I think what it also does is it teaches empathy between the siblings as well. Like when one is sad,
I could see that.
like my daughter is very nurturing already. So
Well, that's good though.
So like when my youngest is sick or something like that, she does a lot of empathy
Motherly.
with her. Like she's very motherly with them.
Yeah.
And even my oldest, when my youngest is sick, doesn't nearly interact with him the same way. So it teaches empathy as well, I think.
That's a good point. Yeah, I could see that.
So, that, and I think the last thing is the simple fact that when you have brothers and sisters and you interact with them on
Mm-hmm.
you kind of always have a built-in friend. You have a built-in support structure.
Yeah,
Because you
in most
grew up
cases.
and you went through a lot of the same things.
Yeah. You guys can sit around a campfire and BS, be like, "Hey, remember that one time?" And yeah.
So, what are some practical strategies parents can use to create an environment that promotes positive interactions between siblings?
What kind of environment? What?
What practical strategies can a parent employ to create an environment that promotes positive sibling or positive interactions between siblings?
I don't know. I don't know. What?
Well, playtime together I think is a very important one, right?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you mean?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, because you didn't grow up like that. Okay. So yeah, that question's a little bit hard for you because
Yeah,
you kind of had to self-soothe.
Yeah. Well, I have a sister, but my sister hated me. Like, she literally dropped cinder blocks on me.
Wow.
Yeah, we've never gotten along since we were little. And so we grew up, but we didn't grow up because after I turned like 8, I moved away to my father,
Mm-hmm.
and she ended up moving with our grandparents in Texas. And then when I came back, she was still gone, so I never really grew up with her.
Gotcha.
And the only thing I do remember is all this screwed up shit that she did to me. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So you never really had
That's
any. So I would say playtime together, which is great. My kids naturally do it; they play together. But I think the other thing that we should hit on is holidays, right? So one of the most important my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving.
Okay.
One, food, obviously, delicious.
Shout out to Grandma.
But the other reason why is because it brings family together, right? So it's kind of one of those cultural, or one of those like traditions that the family has, where all the family gets together. We all bring in certain types of food, and we play games and we chat and whatnot. So that is a strategy that promotes.
Well, I guess wouldn't dinner time apply to that too?
You could use dinner time as well.
Because I remember reading something. Sorry, you jogged my memory. Like, I remember reading something in my sociology class. Or was it sociology? Psychology. Excuse me.
Okay.
That like back in the day, the reason why people like families were so tight, you know what I mean, is because they had dinner together.
That's one reason, yeah.
I mean, it's not a major reason or anything, but that was one of the things that they used as an example in my psychology class, and how like nowadays they don't do that anymore.
No,
they go sit in front of the TV, and that's that's what that reminded me of.
No, and that's a good point. What are some tips and techniques to foster cooperation and collaboration among siblings? You have kids, so I bet you employ some strategy.
I probably do. Can you read it again? I'm sorry.
What are some tips or techniques to foster cooperation and collaboration?
Well, there's the obvious bribery. You know, you want a piece of candy? Okay, go play nice.
That's hilarious.
I'm just kidding. I mean, it does happen though.
That's hilarious.
We tell them they're gonna, play world together, or they're gonna have to get along in some fashion if they like, because like my kids will fight over like the fucking TV, or whose stuffed animal it is. And it's like, okay, and we break down cooperation. Like, okay, well, she gets it this turn, and then you can have it after, and then vice versa, switch back and forth until that way everybody's
kind of negotiating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. So one of the big things is my oldest has an Xbox in his room, and then I have an Xbox in the main room. But one of the big things that happens in my house is my oldest wants to use the Xbox in the living room, even especially when the younger two are over, because he wants it.
Yeah.
Right. More or less, I think it's to mess with them.
Dominance.
It's sort of his dominance, that he's the oldest and he can do what he wants. Right.
I see that.
But one of the things that my youngest is now getting into video games as well, and so he gets a certain amount of time that he can play.
Yeah,
my daughter gets a certain amount of time, and my oldest a little bit more liberal with the restrictions on him. But one of the things that I've been doing is, because they all want to play the Xbox, is figuring out
a schedule.
No, not me. Them. I'm putting it on them. They need to negotiate amongst each other in order to get what they want.
That's good. Gives them the independence.
Yeah. And then the other thing I think that's really important is, like, take dishes, for example, right? Most people have dishwashers this day and age.
Yeah, he's upstairs right now playing.
But one thing that I remember from my childhood, and one thing that I've been trying to get with my kids now, is dishes. Not reliant. I grew up and I did dishes, and it basically rotated. There was 3 of us, sometimes 4, depending if my older sister was around or not. But we'd basically rotate. One day you would wash the dishes, the next day you would dry it, and the third day you'd off, and then then you just rotate it back. Right? Made sense. But it was an activity that we were forced to do together. It was responsibility that we had to do together. And
that's cool. Since
we all wanted to get done as fast, it taught us how to communicate and work effectively together.
Yeah,
right?
That's pretty good.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we don't do that. It's, all right, today is your day to do it. how you want to do it, and then tomorrow's your day, and then obviously the two littles, they don't.
Yeah.
You know, they pick up their room, they pick up themselves, throw away your pull up, that kind of shit. But
yeah, I make my youngest pick up his toys.
Yeah, exactly.
And he usually whines and cries
the whole time.
And I'm just like, if you would pick him up as you were done playing with him, you wouldn't have as much to pick up. So I usually end up just helping him out.
Done that one too.
Like I'll pick it up and here you go put it away, and he runs off. And, you know.
And when you notice he's slacking, hey.
Yep. So how do you? What are some common sources of sibling conflicts, and how do you address those?
Well, there's the chores one we just talked about.
Yeah.
There's that one. There's bathroom time if you have a little girl or a girl.
Yeah.
Pretty much any free time for them, whatever they deem that is their free time, but they want to access it all the time. But it's like, hey, you can't just have your free time all the time. You got to work with your sibling and stuff. Like
I guess I'm not following that one.
Okay, so they always want to go do their own thing, right?
Okay.
But they can't do that because they need to, like, so Damon wants to play on the Xbox all the time.
Okay.
I said his name. I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But he can't do that because he's got to watch his little brother and sister. So they rotate the responsibility. Does that make sense?
So where's the conflict come into play?
Well, neither one of them wants to do it.
Oh, okay.
So they want to go do their own thing.
So that's where the conflict comes into play. It's like, oh, I'm not coming, so you got to stay.
Yeah.
And
dude, it's always a big fight in my house.
Gotcha. Okay. What are some other common conflicts that crop up?
Who's gonna?
We kind of already addressed a lot of them. Like with mine, I gave the example with the Xbox, right? So. I mean, but
throwing the garbage,
and then we've already kind of addressed how, like, effectively negotiating, like teaching them how to negotiate amongst each other, and then I think at this point it should be noted that we should highlight that it also teaches them other skills such as active listening, right? So they have to listen to what the other kid is saying, in order to A, formulate a response, and B, also to develop their empathy.
Yeah. Instead of just talking.
Yeah.
Without meaning.
Yeah, and I think that pretty much covers the last segment on this one is answer listeners' questions, but we're not doing this live, so we're not. You drop comments if you have questions or comments on what you guys do, and then throughout this entire thing we've been sharing our real life stories or personal experiences that illustrate this stuff.
Yeah.
So
do you think? Hang on, a quick question.
Yes,
do you think the resolution between the difference of children, like the different sexes of children, would vary? So like 2 girls, 2 boys, boy, girl. Yeah.
Well,
that's why I was asking.
Boys and girls are different.
Exactly.
Right. Boys typically when they get. This actually brings up something that was not in here that we might actually want to talk about, which is emotional control, right? Children have a harder time controlling their emotions than adults, right? Yeah. Which is one reason why I think siblings are so important, is because it teaches you how to control your emotions, right? But where I'm going with this is that a boy's emotional control, when he loses that, tends to be more violent.
Yes.
Whereas a woman's or a girl's, when she loses that, it's more emotional. It's usually a breakdown and a cry.
Yeah.
Right. So there's that's a main difference between boys and girls. But when it comes to I have 2 sons. My youngest likes to lose his temper quite a bit at my oldest. He's little. He doesn't know how to control his emotions yet. My oldest, unfortunately, still has anger issues, or I shouldn't say anger issues. He has a hard time controlling his emotions sometimes. And when that happens, they just start hitting each other.
Fair.
Which my 5-year-old hitting my 14-year-old does not do anything.
No.
But where it comes into a play is when my older one, the other night, he was upset because his little brother was doing something. And I remember walking out of my room, and he had grabbed him by his arm and was dragging him down the hallway. And I told him, hey, you let him go or whatever. So he picked him up and he chucked him onto the couch.
There's a conflict.
Dad and him had a few choice words.
Yeah. I've only had one situation like that with the boy, and that was all it took. He's been good since. We don't like that.
Well, I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's the importance of a man, a father in a relation, in any relationship, is creating those boundaries and setting that that expectation. Like, yeah. But with my daughter,
I'm a pushover.
I'm a pushover too.
With my daughter.
I am too.
Both of them, dude. Yeah. And the littler one is even worse.
Fair. But yeah, her, when she loses emotional control, it's usually just goes into her room, slams the door, and cries.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to talk. And
one's more destructive than the other, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why it's so important to teach your boys how to control their emotions.
Yeah, before they, go out into the world and do that, and then they get in trouble. Yeah. You know what I mean? They break the law, or
they hurt someone.
Yeah, they hurt someone.
Yeah.
Probably somebody that they love 9 times out of 10, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's good to get that reined in.
So let's move into the conclusion.
Let's hear the conclusion.
Building strong sibling relationships is a valuable investment in your children's well-being and family dynamics. By fostering positive interactions, encouraging cooperation, and teaching conflict resolution skills, parents can create an environment where siblings thrive and develop lifelong bonds. So let us strive to nurture these relationships, creating a foundation of love, support, and connection that will last a lifetime.
I feel like I'm on a Dr. Phil episode.
Well, I don't disagree with this. That's why I'm reading this directly. Remember, building strong sibling relationships is an ongoing process, and each family's journey is unique. We hope that this episode has provided you with some valuable insight and practical strategies to strengthen the bonds between your children and create a harmonious family environment.
It's pretty good, bud.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I thought this was a good topic.
It is a good topic.
Because both of us have children, and even though we're not great at articulating it, we've kind of given some strategies that we've both employed. One thing I think we should do is when we do get our guests on, because there is a difference between men and women, and we're obviously only giving you the father's perspective.
Yeah,
that's a good point. And we're not super articulate at the community or the communal bonding.
Yeah, women are bad at that.
Women are just naturally gifted with that, right?
Yeah.
So having them answer some of these questions would probably
help a lot.
Would shine a hell of a lot of different insight.
Well, that's why it takes both parents in the relationship to raise children, because they get everything all in one. You know what I mean?
You need a maternal figure and you need a paternal figure.
That's right.
So, yeah. All I know is I grew up with 3 siblings, and one I'm close with, one I'm okay with, and the other one I talk to maybe 3 times a year.
Yeah. I haven't talked to my sister in like 4 or 5 years, and then it was just once over the phone, and then before that it'd been 10 years.
Fair.
Yeah, we don't talk. We don't get together on Christmas, Thanksgiving. Yeah, none of that.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So, it is what it is. But I don't want that to reflect on my children, or for that to be their future. I want them to all get along. I'm constantly telling them to get along.
Yeah, and I don't know how effective it is just to say get along. Right.
Well,
because I say the same thing, and then it might be good for 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then I'm having to say the same thing again. So I've learned to interject myself a little bit and play referee. I don't know if that's...
I get what you're saying.
But it's more or less trying to help them moderate. Because children are going to negotiate. Like, I'm encouraging them to figure out
little dictators.
Well, they like to be. But that's where you need to step in and kind of be a moderator and be like, hey, did you hear what this one... did you hear this concern? Did you hear this concern? Okay. I'm the oldest. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
Yeah. No shit.
It's like I don't care that you're the oldest. Like you've been on this Xbox for an hour. You can get off.
You do the hour rule too?
No.
Oh.
I'm just saying, like, you've been playing it for so long. Like my daughter the other day, my youngest son and I woke up at like 5 a.m. or something like that. went and did my stuff.
Yeah.
Got all my day ready. And my youngest woke up at like 7. I was like, cool. What's up, bud? Nothing. Got him some cereal. He ate some cereal. And he wanted to play Borderlands. So I turned on the Xbox and we played Borderlands for like 2 hours.
Nice.
I didn't have any work or anything to do, so I just tell the other kids woke up, and then the other kids woke up, and oldest got the Xbox next, and my daughter, by the time 6 o'clock rolled around, was upset because she hadn't got to play any Xbox, and I'm just like, well,
you didn't wake up till now.
So oh,
that's funny.
And then it turned into a whole fiasco of. Well, I'm just like, dude, you have an Xbox in your room. Go play it in your room. I don't have this game. Go download it.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. It's all in the library.
And that obviously is not an example of teaching them to negotiate. That was an example of me just stepping in and.
Well, they also got to learn to self-soothe.
a little bit.
Not constantly. So I think if you constantly are just self-soothing and like without any other interactions with people in general, that's going to have some sort of weird diverse effect.
So my daughter was super excited. She's on vacation right now. She's on vacation for about 2 weeks, right? I had picked up some candles I had given to a friend down in SLC to see if they could sell it out of their shop, and they didn't sell any. But I had some business and stuff I needed to attend to, so I had the candles in the back of my car, and then all the receptionist ladies, usually young women. Yeah. I'm just talking with them. I'm just like, hey, you like candles? Yeah, I like candles. I'm like, hey, I got some in the back of my car my daughter makes. And, doing a sales pitch. I ended up selling 10 candles in a span of like 2 hours.
Nice.
So my daughter was super excited because she gets
the proceeds.
She gets money from it.
Yeah.
So I made sure to pull out the money and give it to her.
That's cool.
Before she left on vacation. So she was excited because she gets to go buy extra things now.
Yeah, she get a little extra money. That's cool.
And I think that, maybe that's a good highlight because it's my daughter's business. It's her hobby that she wants to do.
Yeah.
I help her. But the nice thing is my oldest actually helps her too.
That's cool.
So
that's a good point.
And the little wants to help, but he's a little too little to help.
I get that.
And cooking. This is another good. I'm sorry. I'm coming up with tips now because I'm starting to articulate, I guess. Cooking. So all my kids want to learn to cook. My oldest loves to cook steaks. He did not want to do it last night, unfortunately. So I cooked them and then I accidentally overcooked them. We made them medium instead of medium rare. No, I didn't burn them.
No, you fucking burned them.
I did. It was beyond medium rare, which means it should have just gone in the trash, but we ate it.
I would have ate it too.
It was still nice and juicy. It was good. Not as good as it should have been, but it was still good. Nonetheless, my daughter also likes to bake and cook as well. So one thing that I've been doing is letting them work together and doing that.
Yeah.
And then my little likes to come and help, but I don't let the older two help him. He can only help me just to make sure he doesn't get burned.
I was going to say that's probably better safe than sorry right there.
Yep. Maybe when he's 3 or 4 more years older.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do your kids do anything like that?
Yeah, Damien cooks. So does Ella. She cooks mainly breakfast because she likes eggs.
Ooh, eggs are good.
And Damien...
Eggs and ham, bro.
Yeah. With freaking
now I'm hungry.
Hash browns.
Yeah.
Making me hungry. And Damien likes to... simple stuff like grilled cheese, quesadillas on the stove. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just simple little things. But, it's a skill that they all need to learn.
Yeah, they do need to learn. I am half tempted to purchase a sewing machine.
Do it.
I know this is not going to come across as manly or anything, but I don't really care.
Let's hear it.
One of my favorite subjects when I was in middle school and high school was home ec. And doing all the sewing projects were some of the funnest things I've ever done in my life.
You're a rebellious one, aren't you?
I don't know why, but it was just so relaxing. If that makes any sense.
No, I get it. There's certain things that you just do that it focuses your mind and you're zoned out, and I get it.
I remember when I was growing up, my dad's mom, so my grandma from my dad's side, Grandma Mamie, we'd go to her house maybe once a month, maybe twice a month sometimes. Well, sometimes more because my dad and my grandfather would like to take us out fishing and stuff like that. But we'd always go up there, and they lived a couple hours away. So when we went up there, we usually stayed the night.
Okay.
And you know how grandparents can be.
Yeah.
But one of the funnest things I actually ever did with my grandma was she taught me to crochet.
Oh, that's cool.
So like we would just make like I don't know what the hell they're called.
Oven mitts?
We made oven mitts, but I'm talking like just the thingies that you can set plates on or you can set plants on.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Tablecloth, or not tablecloth.
like a doily.
Okay.
Yeah, like a doily. So we'd make doilies, we'd make oven mitts, we made hats, scarf.
My great grandma and my grandma used to make booties for your feet.
Oh, yeah.
She sends me some every year.
So one thing, my daughter actually has a crocheting set. She does not like it though.
Oh.
So she stopped doing it.
To each their own.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that. You can't beat that. Dang, now I'm kind of wanting to get a sewing machine and crochet needles.
Do it. I say you do it and make a video.
Do it. Just sit here.
Yeah, while we're talking.
Oh, dude, the movie. Oh my God, it just reminded me of a movie.
What movie? Reminded you of it and then you lost it.
Demolition Man.
Oh yeah. Good old
Big old Sylvester Stallone knitting.
It relaxes me or something. I can't remember what he said.
Oh God, that's awesome.
I just watched that movie.
That's a good movie.
Yeah. Him and Wesley Snipes.
You like how we just go off topics?
We always do.
Yeah.
But that's why you guys love us.
Yes. 323 of you. Oh, I was out yesterday and I was talking with a bunch of people and I kept bringing up the podcast. So hopefully we got a little bit more subscribers coming on that are local. That'd be really nice. I'm half wondering, should we do like an ad on the local radio?
Maybe.
That'd be interesting. I know I keep saying I'm going to go on like Timcast IRL and do like a super chat and stuff like that and highlight us. Because we're kind of in the similar vein, but different.
Yeah.
Just like we're also in a similar vein of like Fresh and Foot or whatever podcast, but we're different. You know.
Those guys know how to articulate words, man. I was watching them debate.
They've gotten better. I used to watch Fresh and Fit like 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I've kind of cut back a lot, just mainly because I don't necessarily.
I just see clips.
Their clips are pretty good, but they got better over a period of time because I watched them for like 2 years
Prior to their success.
Yeah. Well, yeah. As they got more successful, you could see the difference in how they articulated things and what they were doing. So, I mean, it was, in all honesty, if you look back at our first videos, these videos now these days are way better than what we originally did. One is One is the simple fact that it was abnormal for us to be on camera. Right. So getting the comfortability in that, like that, one of the guests that were supposed to be scheduled for Friday's episode, that was actually her biggest fears. She didn't know if she could talk
in front of the camera.
Yeah.
It does not add 10 pounds, ladies.
It adds 15.
Well, again, hook.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. That was uncalled for.
That's funny.
Okay, so quick shout out from our sponsor, Candle Time. Buy candletime.net. 5 cents available. Peach, coconut, sea breeze, lakeshore, and citronella.
I'm just gonna write this shit down.
Void is going to be giving me photos of his albums,
all of them,
and pricing, and I will get those added into the website as well. So that way you can check out Void's music from there.
Yeah, all the mixtapes I'm on.
And then also, you know what? We do have the DDL shop.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested in getting some swag from DDL, do it.
Did you just say swag?
Some swag, yeah. That's an old term, isn't it? That's like 15 years old, man. Ain't nobody saying that crap no more.
You want a T-shirt, dude?
It's the swag bags. You remember that crap?
I love it. Yeah, I remember that.
I'm freaking laughing at me, jackwagon.
Yes, yeah, I'm laughing at you, not with you. At you.
I'm laughing at myself.
That's all good, man. We just have a good time.
But yeah, I will say once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we will do another giveaway.
Try to.
Hopefully at that point it goes better than our last giveaways.
What are we at right now?
We're 323.
323.
Yeah. So if you guys want to get up to 1,000 and get a chance to win some T-shirts, or
I like our
the
followers.
bag. Yeah.
They're all organic.
Yeah.
Like we didn't like.
We haven't bought.
Yeah, we haven't bought anything.
Well, so I think we talked about this. You can, there are places you can go to buy followers, but that comes with inherent problems.
Yeah,
it's
You're
just
a goddamn liar.
It's just like kind of like OnlyFans or cam modeling or doing that kind of things. Like, sure, it might get you money up front, but it comes with long-term problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Just like selling drugs might get you money really fast, but it comes with long-term problems. Like that's one thing that I really been trying to teach my kids and the people around me is like
put the work in, make the sacrifice in the short term, so that way you have a long-term happiness, because it works out much better. If you do like these get quick rich schemes or doing whatever, they always end up creating problems for the long term. Right. And that's one thing that's wrong with our society is our society keeps telling girls, oh, you can just go ahead and sell yourself online. Yeah. And you can make a bank, you can get the bag. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to make a bank and get the bag, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. The problem that I have with it is if you're wanting to find a stable long-term relationship as well, you have pretty much ousted yourself from a lot of being taken seriously. Everything has consequences.
Right. Because men do not want their wives or their girlfriends or whatnot to have that in their past.
Hell no.
So,
like,
but when we have our guests on, that's more or less where this conversation is going to go into is the differences, right? Because one of the items that we're going to talk about is OnlyFans or cam modeling, and why they feel that that's a valid way to make money, to make a living, and what do they see as potential consequences from that? And then that way they can also learn from us and see what a male perspective is. Yeah. Which is, Andrew Tate is a character, right?
Yeah.
But one thing that I think what he has done is showed the world that a lot of men, young men, old men, middle-aged men, truly do feel in general a lot of the same ways.
Men don't really change a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like same things, no matter what age bracket we're in.
Yeah. So sorry, went way off topic from sibling cooperation and getting along and encouragement.
We can cut this out and put it in the bonus footage.
No, it's all right. We don't need to edit that out. It's good. It's good. But we're going to be talking a little bit more about this on Friday, and then we're also going to be doing
not this Friday, but...
Well, no, we're going to talk a little bit about it, because we were originally supposed to have the guests on this Friday. But what was the name of that video that we're going to watch with the history blocks or whatever?
It's like 80-year cycle.
The 80-year cycle.
80-year cycle.
So we'll start with the breakdown of what happened with Friday and why that show is not going to go on, and then we're going to move into the 80-year cycle.
80-year cycle. So, I like it.
So, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. You do you, dude.
No,
you do you.
No, I'm listening. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I was just saying thanks for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe. Till then, peace.